One of the shows that we have been very, very excited about, and because the trailers and the promos look really good, was Netflix's Jupiter's Legacy. I keep wanting to say Jupiter Ascending. Totally different thing, but Jupiter's Legacy is one of the things that we've been really excited about and talking about a lot lately here. And this weekend, I actually had a chance I took the opportunity, Rob, on Saturday. I got home on Saturday evening and I started playing, or Friday evening, and I started playing a couple of episodes, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to watch the whole thing through. So I stayed up till 5 a.m. and watched all of Jupiter's Legacy. And I'll say this. There are elements of this series that are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You know, Rob, the parts of Jupiter's Legacy that I was really eating up was everything. And you know, you and I were talking before the show, it very much has a little bit of a Kingdom Come sort of vibe to it. You know what I mean?
Multi-generations.
Yes. Yep. And then the struggles they have, the older generation worrying about the younger generation of heroes and all that kind of stuff. And when this show was really revolving around, you know, the Utopian played by Josh Duhamel, who, by the way, I think he did a very good job. I really do. So the Utopian is the main, he's basically the Superman of the universe. You know, he has always instilled in the Union of Justice, that's basically the Justice League, and the Union, they call it, the Union of Justice, trying to instill this code that they have lived by, which includes a no exceptions, zero tolerance, never under any circumstances, no matter what, can you kill a villain. Because they're people too. But he's been doing this for 90 years. And as the generations have come and gone, villains are now different villains. And they're doing, this is where the kind of the Kingdom Come feel comes into it. But the villains are different kinds of villains. The world is a different world now. And the younger generation of heroes are questioning the code. When the show was focusing on those aspects, I was enthralled. I was enthralled with it whenever they were covering that stuff. I also really like, you know, the show does a lot of time jumping. They tell the story, what's going on now. Then we do flashbacks to, I think it was the 1920s or 1930s when these guys originally got their superpowers. And I was really into that stuff. But Rob, there was a lot of things about the show that just flat out did not work for me. First thing I should mention is this, and this is not a reflection on the actress because it's not her fault.
Right.
But I didn't give two squirts of piss about, you know, the Utopian's drug-addicted supermodel daughter. I didn't care one crap. Like, for us to care, you got to be able to get attached to a character a little bit. And there is nothing likable about this girl. There's nothing likable about the character. And so as she struggles and as she's going through a lot of different things, I just didn't care. So it's like, oh, look, she's doing more lines of cocaine. Okay, I don't care. Oh, no, she's ruining her job. I don't care, you know? And they spent a lot of time on that. Also, and this is just a window dressing thing, the costumes are terrible. And this is a great example, Rob. This is a discussion that comes up a lot, is that, you know, people want costumes to look exactly the way they do in the comic pages. And we always talk about, hey, look, just because something works on a comic book page does not mean it'll work out well or look right or not look silly in a live action frame. They just nailed the look of these costumes, but they looked ridiculous on the screen. They totally should have adapted it. I understand they were trying to make it as accurate to the comic book as possible, but this is why your first priority is not to be as accurate as possible. It's to make the best thing on screen as you can. Again, that's just a minor gripe. That's just a minor thing. But again, every time they were on screen, I'm like, I couldn't help but snicker a little bit at the look of the costumes. It is what it is. I'm not going to, being a Netflix series, you guys all know there's some kind of big twist at the end because that's a Netflix series. And to me, it was completely predictable. A lot of the side characters came across as pretty damn flat. And when it was all said and done, again, when I finished the final episode at like 5 a.m, my first thought was, this wasn't worth staying up till 5 a.m. for. Second part was there were some really strong elements that I wish they leaned into a little bit more. Too predictable, too much time wasted on things that just weren't all that interesting. And Rob, you and I were talking earlier. I was really hoping that this Jupiter's Legacy was going to be like the next Umbrella Academy, because we've had such a hot streak of great like superhero based shows.
Right.
And whether it's The Boys or whether it's other things, but it's not. And I don't think Jupiter's Legacy is garbage. Don't get me wrong. There are a bunch of people saying it's garbage. I don't think it's garbage. There's too many good redeemable things about it. I also don't think it's an absolute waste of time. Like, I wouldn't try to dissuade people from checking it out. But I'll use the word disappointed. I was disappointed, especially knowing how hyped I was. But anyway, Rob, I know you haven't had a chance to watch this thing yet, but where's your kind of anticipation level been for this based on what you've been seeing so far?
Well, pretty big. I mean, as you know, the late great John Schnepp got me these comics when we did an episode of Comic Book Shopping. I had not read them, and he was always waxing rhapsodic about how good the comics were, Mark Millar's comics, and I really liked the comics. So I was excited that this was going to be the first Millarverse show out of the gate. I haven't caught up with it. I'm just to get behind. I mean, these as soon as they drop, it's hard now because there's like multiple stacks of things dropping. But I really do want to see this because I think this story, like you said, I like the Kingdom Come aspects of the story, and I like how the cast looked, but I've heard very mixed things about the show. So
yeah, and mixed is kind of the word of the day for it. So anyway, guys, the question is for you. Did you guys have a chance to see Jupiter Ascending? I keep wanting to say Jupiter Ascending. Jupiter's Legacy. Have you had a chance to watch it yet? If yes, what did you guys think about it? Did you love it? Did you like it? Were you disappointed with it like me? Did you hate it? Who knows? Whatever you guys thought, jump on down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys.